We are live. We are recording the first episode of my podcast, and you are doing it with me. What an amazing experience we are gonna have together. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So let's do this. Okay. Let's do this. I was 17 years old when I first dreamt of becoming a journalist. But I buried that dream a long time ago. For so many years. Until now. Because today, that's going to change. 15 years later, this is gonna change. And that dream is gonna come to life. And you in IG are doing it live with me right there. And you that are listening right now to this podcast, thank you so much for being part of this amazing journey that we are gonna go together. Let me tell you one thing. If you ever thought or been told, oh my god, just pick one thing, just pick one thing and that's all you need to do, that's how things are, you need to pick just one thing, If that's you, if you ever been told that, hey, I need to pick just one thing, and you are like, how come am I gonna pick one thing when I have so many passions? Do I need to pick one career, one job, one destination? Why one? Why only one? If you ever been told that and you felt like you needed to fit in a mold that didn't feel right, then you are in the right place. And I'm so happy to have you here with me. So I started this podcast because I believe that I have a deeper mission, and I want to bring you with me on this journey. I want to keep it raw, I want to keep it authentic, I want to keep it honest, and I want to make you part of this journey, because I believe that this is how things should be. We are all in a journey together, and today, if you are that person that, hey, I don't know how can I pick one, and although I've been told that it should be that way, I feel like I'm meant for so much more, then you are in the right place, and I cannot wait to welcome you to the first episode of this podcast. I'm so excited you're here with me. So thank you so much. Either if you are watching right now live on how we are doing this on IG, or if you are listening right now in the podcast, in your favorite podcast platform. So before we get into this first episode, I want to introduce myself. Who is this person, right now talking in front of the camera? Who is this person? Well, I'm Francina, I'm Argentinian Italian by passport, but I feel that I have the heart of a global citizen, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like Argentinian Italian is my passport, but I feel like life and myself is so much more than just that. And that's the main reason why I decided to do this podcast in English, because I feel like English, this language, allow me to connect with beautiful people from all over the world and get to hear so many beautiful stories. And I want you now in this podcast to be part of something like that. I want you to create, this global gathering of freedom seekers, former 9-to-5 professionals, location independent business owners, people who believes that there is another way that is more free, more fulfilling, that believes that they deserve to, to give themselves the chance to live the life that they want, right? And for me, English, well, especially I have my husband is Filipino American, and thanks to speaking this language, I was able to meet such a wonderful person like my husband. I'm so grateful to have him by my side. He helped me to set up all this for you to be part of this podcast experience with me. I'm so thankful to have him by my side. And that's why I want to do this podcast in English, even though it's not my mother tongue, even though my mother tongue is Spanish. I wanted to do it in English because I want to create this global gathering with people from all different, places, from different parts of the world, from any different kind of industries, with different kind of journeys. I want you to be part of this global experience. That's what I want to create. You and me. I want us to create this. So I want this to be, a place where people who didn't settle for what success, how do I say this? People who didn't settle for what they thought success was, and instead they redefined what success was for them, and they went all in and did it. Even though maybe they didn't know how to do it, they went for it, they didn't settle for less, and I want you to be inspired by those people, because this kind of lifestyle, this kind of way to live is possible for you too. So I want you to listen to all these people that I get to meet, because I get to travel the world and I get to meet them in person. I want to bring them here, and I want you to listen to these inspiring stories that can encourage you, empower you to go for the life that you want, that life that makes you feel free, fulfilled, and makes you redefine what success means to you. So I'm so excited for this first episode, and I'm so excited for all the beautiful, amazing, special guests that I'm gonna bring along with me in this journey. A journey that, again, you right there and you right there are being part of. So I'm super excited. So now let's rewind a little. For this first episode, I really want to share, the story behind all of this, because for me, doing this podcast, it's not just, okay, let's do a podcast. This is a dream that, as I shared in the beginning of this episode, this is a dream that I had since I was 17 years old. 17 years old. So this is more like 15 years ago. 15 years ago. So I want to rewind a bit, and I want to bring you on a journey with me. So I want you to picture is 2010. 2010, you are in the last year of high school. Everyone is deciding, what to do with their lives. What are they supposed to do? What's, that big decision, what am I going to study? What am I going to do with my life? I gotta decide, I gotta decide what am I going to do with my life. And for me, actually being a business owner was not one of the cards that they had me. It's like, they were like, okay, what are you going to study? Of course I was going to study. I love learning, I love studying, so I was like, yes, let's do it. I have so many passions, I'm gonna learn something new. But I was like, what am I going to study, Definitely, again, becoming a business owner didn't cross my mind. I was set to be part of the corporate world and study, have a academic degree, a bachelor's degree or something like that, but I didn't know what to study, right? So again, it's 2010, you are right there. It's like you are thinking, what am I going to do with my life? Everyone is so clear, I had peers that they were like, I'm gonna become a lawyer, I'm gonna become an architect, I'm gonna become an accountant, or I wanna be a fashion designer, or I wanna study public relationships. And I was like, okay, what am I going to study? I had no idea. I'm so passionate about so many things that I was like, I don't know how to pick one. Like, how do I pick what am I supposed to study, right? So since I didn't have a clue, my parents were like, okay, let's do a psychology test, so I went to a psychologist and we did a few sessions and we did a psychology test, right? So I could figure it out, my passions, and I could figure it out what's the best career path for me, right? So I went to several sessions with the psychologist. We did different kind of activities, every single Thursday, it was Thursdays, every single Thursday, I was going to a session with the psychologist, right? And she would get to ask me questions and we will do activities, so I can figure it out, again, that question. What am I going to do in my life? What am I going to study? What's my career path? So I can figure that out, right? So again, 2010, you are right there trying to figure that out. That was me trying to figure that out with that psychologist. So after a few sessions, every Thursday, I think it was 4 to 6 sessions of back and forth, back and forth. Finally, she was like, okay, today I'm gonna reveal to you the possible career paths that are aligned to your passions, to your interests, to your talents. So I was like, okay, perfect, let's do this. So she was like, okay, I think you would be a very good fit for journalism. You love asking questions. You have a deep understanding on the story behind someone else's success. Like every time she would ask me to look at newspapers and magazines, I would always be like, why this person ended up doing this? Why this person decided to choose this instead of that? Like I remember clearly one of the news that I brought to discuss with her was about drug dealers. Like a drug dealer in Colombia that was in jail, and I was like, it's like how this person ended up in this situation. And I was trying to discuss with her, like why, why this person ended up, selling drugs, why this person ended up in prison, why that was his journey, and when it could have been so much different. And like this, I brought so many different kind of stories, right, that were so interesting to me. So I brought all these stories, and she was like, I think journalism would be a great fit for you. I think you have this passion for asking questions, knowing really deep the story behind someone else's success or decisions or failures. So I think journalism is for you. Then second, she was like human resources, because you have so much interest for human beings, like I can see that you are so interested in knowing about human beings. I think like you really want them to succeed, you really want to ignite the people's potential. So I think human resources would be a good place for you to actually help those human beings. I don't think you would fit as a lawyer, because she was like, because I think that's a very different path that I don't think it will match like with your type of interest, even though you really want to fight for things to be fair, for people to actually get what they want, and and actually fight for it, and you are a natural fighter. I don't think studying law would actually be the right path for you. I think it's best for you to apply law in the corporate world, like with human resources, where you get to help people in this corporate setting, right? So I was like, okay, human resources, okay, because of my deep understanding and interest about human beings. And then last, you said international relationships, because it looks like you are very interested about, different cultures, people from different backgrounds. Like, you brought this news from this guy from Colombia, and looks like you are very interested in the world, the whole, what's happening around the world. So I think international relationships would be a very good fit for you. So these are the 3 careers that she suggested to me, right? So she was like, think about it, research, think about, which one catches more your attention, and then just pick one. Any of these 3 would be a very good fit for you. So I was like, okay, let's pick one, let's do this. So my first pick, I remember clearly that I left that session and I was super excited. I was like, oh my God, like finally I have answers, right? I have answers. I don't know that I can study one of these career paths, right? So I was super excited. So I went home, I started researching. I was like, when I started searching, I was like, and did all my research and everything about, like the different courses of studies and everything that it had to offer for me. I was like, international relationships, so much history. I'm interested in people from other cultures, but I'm not sure that I want to really learn like all this history, like very heavy stuff. Like it was like so much history. I like more the, I want to learn about other cultures more in, like in a practical way, right? Not the historic part of it, right? Like that's why I love traveling. That's why a big part of my lifestyle is traveling nowadays, right? Because I do have that interest. But international relationship, there was so much history. I was like, no way I'm going to sit and study all this history. So international relationships is not for me. So I removed that. Then I look at human resources and I was like, yeah, could be, it seems like, like those kind of things that it's like, this is good enough. It's like, oh, this is a good mix, it's something in the middle, it has a little bit about human beings, it has a little bit of law, it has a bit of, human beings and, and helping people to, and train them and helping them with their learning and development. So I was like, okay, this could be, when I read the course of study, I was like, and I saw the curriculum, I was like, oh, this could be, this might work. But then I saw journalism and I was like, oh my God, I think this is it, this is about, interviewing and asking questions. And I was like when I saw the curriculum, I was like, oh my God, this is covering so much of the things that I'm interested in. So I was like, it's journalism. You are going to study journalism, right? So I went to the psychologist and actually before I went to the psychologist, my parents asked me, so did you figure it out? What are you going to study? And I said, yes, I'm going to study journalism. I was so sure, so confident, so excited. So I was like, I'm going to study journalism. And my parents were like, oh, okay. They didn't say, oh, you're crazy, or they were like, or they didn't stop me, right? They were like, okay, okay, good. They were not enthusiastic, but they were also not against it. So I was like, oh, so it looks like they are cool about it, right? So I went to the psychologist, and the psychologist was like, okay, so Fran, did you make your decision? Did you talk to your parents? And I was like, yes, I made my decision. It's gonna be journalism. I already talked to my parents, and she was like, oh, how did they take it? And I was like, well, actually, very good. They were cool about it. Like, they were like, oh, okay. And she was like, oh, that's very surprising, because usually when teenagers, they choose something related to fashion or journalism, something more artistic, parents usually, they are really against it. And it's like, oh no, my parents are very cool. Like, my parents are very, very cool. So then I was going to, already, go to the next stage. So she was like, okay, I left the session with my psychologist. I was set, to bring things to the next level, enroll in a university, decide which type of university, if I was going to do it in the capital of Argentina or, where. So I was, okay, let's bring this research to the next level, right? So I did my research and then I went to my parents, and I want you to picture this. It's a Sunday. Sunday is a big day for Argentinians. We are very, very family oriented. Like, it was a Sunday, I was with my family. We were in a gasoline station. I remember my dad was putting gas, and all of a sudden I brought the topic. Okay, I've been doing my research, so I'm gonna study in this place, I'm gonna study journalism. And my dad, I remember if it was today, and he looked at me and he was like, so you were serious? I was like, of course I was serious. I mean, you asked me a few days ago and I said, journalism, that's what I pick. And he was like, oh, I thought you were kidding. No way you're going to study that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not what you said a few days ago. And he's like, no, you're not gonna earn good money with that. You should choose a career that is well paid, like human resources. Human resources is in demand, it's increasing, they are looking for many professionals in human resources. I think you should study human resources. Journalism, is very hard to get well paid, so to actually get a good job. So I don't think you are going to study journalism. I was like, oh, okay. So international relationships was out because I didn't like international relationships. So I was like, okay, my dad is saying no to journalism now. He thought I was kidding, but I was not. So I guess I'm studying human resources. Okay, I like studying. This is good enough. I mean, more or less, it's aligned to what I'm interested. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So I decided to bury journalism. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do journalism. Journalism is not for me. I'm not gonna earn good money with that. So I guess I'm gonna settle and I will study human resources, right? So I studied human resources for 4 years. I remember I feel so privileged that even though my parents were not happy about it, journalism, when I said that I was going to study in the capital of Argentina, they were all in, they supported my studies, unlike in other cultures, like in Argentina, if your parents they actually help you to support your studies. So I remember they supported my studies, and I was like, okay, if it's 4 years, I don't want my parents to keep on paying, so I will do it in 4 years. So in 4 years, right there, 4 years, I got my degree in human resources, right? So I got my degree in human resources, and 1 or 2 years before ending my degree, I started working in human resources, and I was working in a law firm in human resources, and I realized I didn't like it. I was like, what am I doing? I mean, like, this is not fun at all. I cannot be myself. I don't know if you ever thought that you cannot be yourself, you know, like when you are in a place and you cannot be yourself, like you are pretending to be someone that you are not. That's exactly who I was working in human resources in that law firm. I thought I was pretending to be someone. Okay, I was wearing, you know, like my suit and my pants and, you know, makeup and heels, and I would go every day and do my job, and I will perform really well and I will excel, because that's, I just like, you know, doing things and learning and doing my best, right? So I was actually excelling. I was doing really well. In fact, my manager back then, I remember that she was like, when I told her, hey, I'm not happy about it, you know, I'm gonna take a sabbatical, you know, I'm gonna go and travel, she was like, oh, but you know, like, you know, she was trying to convince me to stay. She was like, well, maybe, you know, like, you stay a few more months and then you can go on a sabbatical for like a year. And I was like, no, I don't think this is working for me, you know. I realized I was sad. I was deeply sad. I remember going to university after working, because I used to work in the morning, and then at night, around 6 p.m., I would go to university, right? Because I was still studying, you know. I started working when I was still like, I still had like 1 year and a half still in university, right? And I would go and I would sit in the coffee shop of my university, and I would talk to my peers, to actually one of my best friends, and she would be so happy with her job. And I was like, I'm so unhappy. I'm so unhappy. I don't know I can do this any longer. I've been working for this law firm. It was a very prestigious law firm, like one of the biggest law firms in Argentina. And I'm like, I have benefits, you know, it's, yeah, I'm getting experience, but I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy. I don't think I can take this any longer. I was really, really sad. So back then I was working in an NGO, and the NGO, ISEC, if there are any fellow ISECers, please say hi. I would love to connect with you. ISEC gave me the opportunity to take an internship. So one of like the main mission of that NGO where I used to work is to create world peace through internship. Like, this NGO believes that if more people do internships and get to explore other cultures, there will be a deeper understanding in humanity, and we will have less wars, right? So I was like, you know, I'm working already for this NGO. I'm gonna quit my job. I quit my job back then in the law firm. I decided to take a sabbatical. I went all in working for the NGO. Then I took an internship to Romania that changed my life. That internship in Romania made me realize that what I really wanted wasn't human resources. Imagine, you invested money and 4 years of your life into a career that you realize is not for you. I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. You know, I realized that this is not for me. I realized what I truly, truly want is to ignite people's potential. That's really what's in my heart, you know, because in this internship in Romania, actually, I help teenagers to figure it out. This is crazy, but what I do in this internship is to help teenagers between 16, 17 years old to figure it out what to do next after high school. And we were doing activities and we were doing workshops, and I work very closely with these teenagers, putting my human resources skills and my natural talents and all the curriculum of this program. I mix all together, and I work with people from New York, from Bulgaria, from Hong Kong, from France. Like, it was a so enriching experience where we gather all together and we do workshops, activities, and everything to help these teenagers from Romania to figure it out what to do with their lives after high school, right? So, well, we were doing the activities with them, I did the activities myself. And that's when I realized that I was unhappy, that human resources was not my calling, that I didn't want to work in human resources anymore. So I got that clarity. I got the clarity that it was something more related to teaching or igniting people's potential, but I didn't know how. So I went back to Argentina and I was depressed for like a month. For like a month, all I would do is to go from the bed to the bathroom, from the bathroom to the bed, and that's all I would do. And I was like that for like a month until one day I was like, hey, nothing will change unless I do something. And being in bed will not solve it. So I went on a quest of finding a job that it was more aligned to this realization. And meanwhile, I started finding different courses of studies more aligned to this realization. But again, I had no idea. So I thought of becoming a teacher. So I asked people, in my circle. My cousin, she was a teacher. So I asked her, how is being a teacher? What are the pros and cons? What do you like? What you don't like? Until I got a job in Accenture. And in that job in Accenture, my manager was a certified ontological coach. So she was like, hey, Fran, I think, we were just chatting. And she was like, hey, Fran, have you ever considered of, certifying as an ontological coach? I think that you would be, I think you would be a very good fit for that. So I decided to enroll and certify as an ontological life coach. And that, again, changed my life. The same way that internship in Romania, certifying as an ontological life coach, changed my life. It brought so much understanding on what I really wanted to do with my life. Back then, I was only 23 years old, and I realized that I didn't want to be in the corporate world. I didn't want to work in human resources, but I also didn't want to work in the corporate world. I was like, I'm not meant for this. I don't want to do this. Plus, I was surrounded, when I was certified as a coach, I was also inspired by all my peers. They were all going for their dreams. They were realizing what were their dreams, and they were making moves. So I started realizing that it was my time to start making moves. And I realized that I wanted to travel the world. So I was like, this time, I'm going to quit again. I quit my job again. Second time, I was only 24 years old, and I was like, guess what? I'm gonna quit my job again, and I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna go all in my dreams. I'm gonna travel the world. I'm gonna start my own online business, because I think that's what I want to do. I don't want to be in the corporate world. I don't think this is really expanding myself. This is really igniting my potential, right? So in 2017, 7 years later, and for those who believe in numerology, 7 is a very important number. I'm not gonna go deep into that because I don't have much knowledge about it, but I know that the number 7 is very deep, or very, it's a very good number for transformation, right? So 2017, imagine, when I started this story was 2010, and I was deciding what to do with my life. 7 years later, I was deciding again what to do with my life. But this time, I was not following what I was supposed to do, what my parents were expecting from me. I was actually doing something that I deeply wanted. I was taking again, back my power. And I was starting to make decisions aligned to what I truly wanted from my heart. And my heart wanted to travel the world and start my own business, using my own talents, my passions, and everything that makes me, me. So 2017, 7 years later, after the beginning of this story, I discovered that actually what I really wanted was not to pick one career, one job, climb the corporate ladder and have one specific role and excel at that. What I really wanted was to combine all my passions. And I realized that the way to do that was to start my own business. And this is crazy for me because for someone who has multiple passions, and perhaps if you also have multiple passions, you will get me. I was like, the corporate world, you need to, is very set, right? It's a square, it's a box. But I realized with my own business, I get to make the calls. I get to make the calls for my lifestyle. I get to make the calls for what I want to create. And I don't get to choose only one passion. In fact, when I started this journey, I realized that by starting my own business, I was blending all my passions. And nowadays, when I look back, I'm like, my business today is the reflection of those 3 careers that this psychologist suggests to me. I'm working, my business is in English. I get to work with dream clients from different parts of the world, like Japan, US, different countries in Europe, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Canada, Chile. I mean, it's mind-blowing. So I still get to work and be in contact with people from different cultures, different parts of the world. So that international relationships career, guess what? Is part of my life right now. It's just in a different way. Guess what? Human resources, because I care so much about human beings, today I get to help dream clients, 9-to-5 professionals who also want to break free from the corporate world and want to start their own online business, aligned to those passions, aligned to the lifestyle that they want, that makes them feel free and fulfilled. Guess what? I get to help those people with my business. So it's not human resources, but I found my way, a way that is aligned to how I want to do things, a way that allows me to blend all those passions. And finally, journalism. If you think about it, today I write, I create content in any type of shape and form. I create videos, I create newsletters, I create content in all social medias. I'm starting this podcast. You are part of this experience of this podcast. I'm gonna be interviewing and bringing you on this journey as I create this podcast with you. Guess what? That's journalism. That's asking questions, interviewing, like really getting to know the story behind someone else's successes or failures. I'm getting to do that with my business. I've been doing it for more than 7 years now. So what I realized is that I didn't need to pick one career, one job, that might be true for someone else, but it was not true for me. And I feel that it's my duty, and this is why I created this podcast. It's my duty to show you that it's possible. That if you ever thought, hey, I have so many passions and I want to do something about it, but I don't know how, I want you to be inspired in this podcast, not just by my story, but the story of many different people from all kinds of industries, from different parts of the world, from different cultures, to show you that that's possible for you. Because one story can completely change the direction of your life. Because it can give you permission on what's possible for you. So that's what I want in this podcast. I want this podcast to be an opportunity for you. An opportunity for you to give yourself permission to live life the way you want. To redefine success, to redefine how you want to live. And give yourself permission that you can change careers, that you can change the way you live, that you can actually create that business that blends all those passions, all that expertise, all those talents, and that makes the positive impact that you want to make in this world. That's what I want in this podcast, because I didn't have it when it was 2010 and I needed to make a decision. I didn't have it. Like, I gave you the long story short on how I got here. Definitely, it was years in the making. Like, imagine, this started in 2010, right? And right now is 2025. So it's been 15 years in the making. So I want to save those 15 years for you, and I want you, because time is the only resource that you cannot get back. People go through life thinking that they have all the time in the world, postponing their dreams, postponing how they want to live their lives, postponing launching that online business that they really want, postponing, quitting their jobs when they already know that no longer fulfills them or makes them feel how they want to feel. They postpone all of that because of fear. So I want you to be on this journey with me and not wait years of your life to make a decision. I want all these stories not just to inspire you, but also to show you that those fears are simply guiding you on how to make decisions, how to prepare for these changes in your life, so you can actually go and break free and live the life that you are meant to live. That life that makes you feel free, that makes you feel fulfilled, that makes you feel you, that makes you feel you, that makes you feel you. And that's so important. So in this podcast, I'm not gonna show you like hacks on how to quit your job or on hacks on how to travel the world. I'm not gonna do that. That's not what you're gonna get in this podcast. In this podcast, we are gonna go deep. We are gonna go really deep. We are gonna reimagine what success looks like for you. We are going to go on a journey so you can actually build that life and that business that is aligned to you, to who you truly are, that makes you feel that passion again for life. That's what's gonna happen in this podcast. So again, it's gonna be in English. We are gonna have people from all over the world, with super interesting stories. So if you're a freedom seeker, if you're someone who perhaps didn't have the realization yet that the corporate world is not for you, but you feel that something is off, this doesn't fit, I feel like I'm trying to fit in a mold that doesn't feel like me. If you're starting to feel like that, if you're a freedom seeker, if you're someone who's like, perhaps you're already in the stage of like, I already know that I'm meant for more, but I don't know how to do this. Perhaps if you're an immigrant, who built your career in a totally different country and you're like, I'm afraid I know that I want something different. I know that I want to change the way my life looks and the way I make a living, but I don't know how to start. I'm afraid of losing everything that I built in this country. If you are a 9-to-5 professional, either right now or a former 9-to-5 professional that wants to be inspired and wants to be empowered to live a life that feels like you, then you are in the right place, my friend. And I'm so excited. And I'm so grateful. To have you with me here. You are not here by chance. You are here because you needed to hear this. And I'm so thankful. And I want to recognize you for taking the time, because today you could have done other things. You could have used your time in a very different way. But instead, you decided to invest this time with me right now. So again, you are not here by chance. You are here because you needed to be here, listening to this right now. So I want to recognize you for taking the time to nurture your soul, to listen to your heart, and to allow yourself to think of a different life for you, and for allowing yourself to be empowered and inspired by others. So thank you, and expect that this journey will be full of raw journeys, raw experiences. I want this to keep as authentic and as raw as possible. Expect openness, hearts open. Expect mistakes. We are going to share mistakes, failures. We are going to talk about money. We are going to talk about success. We are going to talk about failures. We are going to go deep, because that's how I roll. I like to go deep, and I'm going to go deep with myself when I do solo podcasts like today, and I'm going to go deep when I go and interview a guest. We are going to go deep, because that's how we roll here. We are going to go deep. So if anything of what you listened today resonated with you, that's a sign. And I'm thankful again to have you here. So we're gonna have guests, as I said, and tomorrow we are gonna have a very special guest that I'm sure you're gonna love her. Her story is so inspiring. She's actually a former PwC accountant that changed lifestyle, changed career, and decided to become a location-independent business owner that helps location-independent business owners become wealthy nomads by saving in taxes and living a life that makes them feel free around the world. So I'm super excited for you to meet this very special guest tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, turn on the notifications. Again, you can see this episode raw in IG Live right here, like today. You can be part of this podcast with this special guest live in IG. Thank you so much for you that joined in IG, and thank you so much for you that you are listening right now in your favorite podcast platform. So I'm super excited for you to meet this special guest tomorrow. Again, put the notifications, you wanna watch out for it. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a very inspiring story, and we're gonna go deep. And again, if this podcast make you feel seen, stick around, subscribe, follow, and share this episode with someone you truly love and that you believe that will have a positive impact in their lives, that you think that person also needs to hear about this today. So go, subscribe, follow, and share this episode with someone you love. And with that being said, feel free to message me in Instagram. I want to know your story too. So please message me on Instagram. Hey Fran, I love stories. I love connecting with people. Yes, it's me answering in Instagram, or Marco sometimes, but either one of us, we are answering. So please message us. Message me. Hey Fran, I listened to your podcast, and tell me what resonated with you. Tell me your story. I want to hear you. I want to hear your story. So without further ado, thank you so much for being here. Follow the podcast, subscribe, share this episode, and welcome to the beginning of something super, super special. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Love you. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Leave me in the comments. Leave me in the comments what resonated with you about this IG live, about this about this live podcast. What stuck with you? Please go in the comments and share with me what resonated with you, what's something that you felt like you need to hear, what's a new insight that you got. Go right there in the comments and share with me. Please share in the comments, and also feel free to message me in the DMs. Until the next episode. See you!